So my name is Rafael Albarran, and
I'm Trent Kendrick, and we're here to represent the movie Fly.
we're writer, directors, producers, lead actors, all of it, all of the above.
How does it feel to do it all?
It was very challenging. We did not initially intended to do it all, but it was like a budget, like kind of decision. Like we had a very, very stream budget, and so we had to make miracles with it, and we did.
And tell us a little bit about the film.
It's a film about two exes that get stuck in the onset of the COVID pandemic, while my character also has another boyfriend in tow. And I haven't seen Raphael's character in about 5-6 years. And then the pandemic hits, we get stuck with one another, and he's just moved to LA to pursue drag. So yeah, it's a story about, old traumas, new traumas.
And family, in the queer community, our ex relationships and ex lovers sometimes are our closest friends and the people that we relied on. So it's a movie honoring that, our unique queer families.
Actually, I was just talking to someone right now, and they talked about, and it keeps coming back over and again, how the pandemic changed everything, and how now we're at a point where things are starting to maybe even out, but we still have to reference back to those times. What is it like to reference back to those times when audiences see this? Because in a way, we've kind of forgotten a little bit about that, but what is it like when you watch this film again under the idea of what the pandemic was like?
The responses are beautiful because we wrote the movie as the pandemic took place, so we got to really capture the essence and little details and specific things of the moment that people, like you said, forgot. So whenever audiences now see it, the reactions are very overwhelmingly positive because it's almost like nostalgia, but also reminds you of the pain and the heart and the heartaches and the complexity of the time and the experience. And I feel like we did a very good job at capturing that.
And right now we're in the midst of still remembering the pandemic, but when somebody watches this movie, let's say a child who's 14 who's barely coming to grips with the idea of being gay, and they hear, oh, this movie's about the pandemic. What's the pandemic? What would you tell them was the feeling that was happening around this time?
It was unlike anything that we had ever been through before. I think as humans, we're very social beings, and so all of a sudden you're just locked inside with maybe some people were completely alone, some people were with their family, or in whatever, dynamic was your living situation. And, at times we weren't even told that we should go outside. So it was very isolating. But at the same time, I think that isolation brought a lot of connection in different ways through virtual connection, like on Zoom and whatnot. So it was just it was this moment in time that I think as a whole kind of brought us all together because we were all experiencing this universal thing at once. And yeah, our film really tried to capture the zeitgeist of that. And we really also tried to, I think there are a lot of different COVID movies, but in this one, we really tried to have an element of healing about the whole, event that we went through.
And when you've been on the circuit, you've already been showing this film across the entire country and other parts. What comes back? What's the theme that keeps coming back time after time on this movie?
Oh my God! People are completely surprised by the fact of they're not expecting to cry and laugh as much as they do. Because it's a movie that it's a very slice of life, so we bring a lot of comedy, but also we go into very serious themes of loss and grief, and we don't have any. We're not scared of tackling those moments with the same intensity and truth that we tackle the comedy ones. So people have been really surprised about that. If you go to our IMDb page, we have over 30 reviews, which is crazy. For an unknown indie film that is not in any major streamer. The fact that we have over 30 reviews from people all over the world, it tells you so much about how the movie truly hits the audience. People want to talk about it. People feel immediately grasped to it. This is something that we've never seen, and we feel very blessed and very lucky for it.
What's been one thing that surprised you that you didn't expect coming out of this movie?
Good question. I think that I'm just overwhelmed, sort of ties into your last question, with the general positive response. We made this movie on a shoestring budget with the resources that were in our grasp during a pandemic. And so to see the life that it's already had, we call ourselves the little engine that can, and to connect with audiences afterwards and see that, you know, somebody who lost somebody in the pandemic, or, you know, somebody who just connects with the silly element of, like, you know, not having toilet paper. I feel like everybody picks on something that, you know, all binds and connects us together. So that's something that just shocks me, because we made it, and I think when you make a film and you birth it, you don't, you know, I didn't really have many expectations of it's just like you let it go. So the way that it's resonated with audience has been totally overwhelming and really surprised me.
And honestly, also, like, the fact that we're here at opening night.
What does it mean to be opening night? How does that change the dynamic of being at a festival?
For me, it's crazy because, like Trent shared with you earlier, we're at the tail of our journey, of our year of running through festivals. And it truly was something that didn't even cross my mind that could happen to our film. So for me, it's like the biggest honor and validation that an indie filmmaker can get, to have their first feature film open a festival, and a festival so well established in the community like this one here. So, like, yeah, I cried when I got the email. I was not expecting it.
Same, yeah. I think it's the recognition. You know, it's so heartwarming, and, you know, it's the wind beneath our wings to keep on going as artists. So we're so.
You should sing that.
You don't want to hear my singing voice.
But going back to the idea of the opening night and it being kind of like a special moment, what do you feel is something that you want our audiences tonight to walk away with?
I feel like the reason that we created this movie in the first place was for us queer people to have like to feel lighter. You know, like we go through so much, and this time and place was such an intense experience that like I feel like that's what we kind of want people to like go out of the theater with, like a sense of like lightness.
What would be the advice as filmmakers that you would give to somebody who is trying to become a filmmaker? What would you say you need to do this right now in order to get your film out into the world?
First, I would say probably shut off social media and be quiet with yourself. Go within. I think that there's really something to be said for, like, you know, listening to that inner voice and shutting out outside distraction. And then, you know, once you do have a script or project, that nobody can tell you no. Make some, you know, I've written a couple of scripts before this. The budget was a little bit too big, and, you know, ultimately I ran into roadblocks, and that's when we started writing this one. It was Raf's first time writing a film, and we dove in. And yeah, we knew that we were going to figure out how to get this made. Even if we had the money in our pockets, we were going to do it. So just do it.
What do you guys want to add? What do you guys want us to know?
Honestly, like, if like as a filmmaker, if you have an idea and you believe in it, like, you gotta do it. Like, with money, without money, like these days, you know, with a camera, you can tell a story.
And you guys are proof of that. You did it.
Yeah, we did it.
You cried a lot.
Yeah, and we
You
cried.
bled a lot.
We cried a lot.
Did you fight a lot?
We fight, like, we cannot even.
What else? Did you love a lot?
We love a lot.
Actually, I don't want to ruin anything, but at one point in time, we're both in drag, and that was one of our big first fights on set. Just because we were so stressed with everything, and we were both in full drag.
And our first fight on set is.
But you hugged it out. You hugged it out.
We always return to love, because I think that's also what the movie is about family and having each other's back.
Good job. Congratulations. Good job. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you so much.
All right. Enjoy.
Wow, what a picture.